Good morning students, welcome to the session on operating system. In our previous lecture we have discussed about IPC, that is inter-process communication, and we have seen two ways of inter-process communication. One is shared memory and the second one is message passing. In our today's lecture we will say a little bit more information about shared memory. Okay, in our next lecture we are going to see one problem which will be solved based on your shared memory called producer and consumer problem. Before that, we need to know about the shared memory, and shared memory is an implementation for IPC, that is inter-process communication, where a memory section is shared between different processes. Simply I can say when we are having number of processes, when they are going to execute in your system, we will be having a certain situation called cooperating processes, where each and every process will be cooperated with other processes in order to complete their execution. In order to do so, we need some IPC. We will be executing those inter-process communication by using shared memory, I can say. In the last lecture we have seen, we will be creating a region of memory where we will be putting the information, where we will be keeping the information that is necessary for the other process, so that process A and process B both can share the data. That is what we have written here. Process A will write some data onto memory and process B will read it. In the vice versa also we will be doing the same thing. Okay. The downside, that's really difficult to coordinate changes to the shared memory area. That is what we are creating some shared memory now. We are creating some region. Then that is very difficult, I can say, in order to change the coordination settings, I can say. Okay, and we can observe this shared memory in case of client and server architecture, where we will be serving the web pages, HTML pages, I can say, where we will be having a lot of pages that will be served to our clients. Okay, where we will be putting those particular pages, those particular information at one place, by which the clients will access those web pages, I can say. In that particular example, you can see your shared memory, and we will discuss in detail. In order to implement our shared memory, we need to follow these steps, I can say. Okay, typically already I told you people, we will be creating this particular shared memory area or as the region of memory, which will be created by the process, which process want to share the data. That process is going to create this particular shared memory region. That is what we are saying. Typically, shared memory region resides in the address space of process creating the shared memory. Okay, let's see, when a process A want to share the data, then it will be creating the shared memory by using its address space. Okay, when it is creating this space, it will be putting the data that has to be shared by some other process. Other process is what? Your process B. Process B will access the data from your shared memory. In the vice versa, they will be utilizing this space. Okay, again process B can also share the data. But in generally in our particular memory organizations, your operating system tries to prevent access of memory from one process to other process. Say suppose process A is having some memory and process B is having some memory, then every process will be having its own memory region. It will not be accessible by some other processes, but it should be restricted. Those particular restrictions should overcome in case of your shared memory, so that whatever the region that has been created by process A should be accessible by process B. In the vice versa, it can share the data. See, here you need to remember that whatever the process that it want to share the data, that particular process will create a region of memory. That is what? Shared memory. In this particular memory, they are going to put the data that has to be shared by some other process B. Okay, See here, this is the memory which has been created by your process A. Means to say that address space given to your A will be taking some memory from that in order to create your shared memory. Okay. Now other process that wish to communicate using this shared memory must attach to their address space. It must be attached to your process B also, so that it can share the data from your process A, and both can communicate in order to complete their execution. This is how we will be creating the shared memory and we will be utilizing it. Normally, generally in your operating system, it won't allow you people to share the memory space. Okay, whatever the space that has been given to some process, that must be utilized by that particular process only. Okay, other processes will not be having any access to that particular memory, but we should overcome in the case of shared memory, I can say, so that we can access that particular shared memory and we can share the information or else data, I can say. Okay, we'll be seeing one problem which will be solved based on your shared memory called producer and consumer problem. In your operating system, it will play a key role. It is very important problem, I can say, that is your producer and consumer problem. For now, do remember that shared memory will be created by the process which want to share the data. Okay, which want to share the data. That is what we have seen in the previous example. That is, process A want to share the data now, then process A will create the shared memory, which is assigned for process A only. Okay, process A address space. From this, it will be creating the shared memory and it will be attached to your process B, so that process A and process B can share the data. They will be, process A will put the data over here and that data will be accessible by process B. In the vice versa, we will be doing the communication. That is what we have seen in the previous example. And already we have discussed this in the previous lecture also, but in detail just we are discussing this. Okay, see here, process A and process B, and in between we are having shared memory. That shared memory should be attached to your process B so that it can access the data. Okay, that's it for now. In our upcoming lecture, we will discuss a problem called producer and consumer problem. If you are having any doubts, just let me know by your comments so that we can clarify. That's it for now. See you in the next session. Thank you.